Hello and welcome to Devotion to Writing, a channel devoted to helping you cultivate a daily writing practice and realize you are creative abundance. In these videos, I offer tips and tricks, also some writing prompts to help you cultivate a writing practice. And this is so essential, this idea of cultivation, because to cultivate something is a process of growing it. And there are many ways we grow our practice. And in all of these videos, I hope that I'm giving you just another way that you can cultivate your writing practice, because I realize from my own experience of writing for 30 plus years how difficult it can be to face the page. I think the easy part of writing is once we start writing. The most difficult part of writing is getting ourselves to the page and beginning. And so that's what I focus on, is the beginning. Hopefully getting you over that hurdle, whether it's the hurdle be for you, it's doubt or fear, that you don't know where to start, that you have maybe some preconceived notions about yourself as a writer, as a creator, whether you're creative, whether you're a writer. These are things I have struggled with my whole life. These are questions I've asked and answered on the page for many, many decades now. And so I hope that what I offer you can help you smooth over this kind of journey and get you to the page frequently, consistently, so that you can create with the full power and abundance that you are. So if you feel like your writing, when it first hits the page, is a complete mess, like you're throwing words at the page and you're hoping that something is going to stick, well, that's what I want to explore today, this kind of messy and imperfect process of writing, and discover why these messy, imperfect beginnings are the most crucial step in creating something amazing. They are necessary. The messiness, the imperfection is natural and necessary. So keep that in mind. Don't let it deter you. Get messy, like you did in kindergarten when you're finger painting. Get it all over you. That's what you have to do. So actually not going to talk about finger painting in this video, but I will use the analogy of making pottery in relationship to writing. So forget about perfection, forget about perfect prose, polished sentences, forget about writing a complete poem in one sitting that is so powerful that it evokes emotions from your reader. When you begin writing, it is about the rough shape and the raw creation and getting out of yourself this organic form of what you want to say or tell or capture in language, right? You might have a feeling, an idea, an inkling, just a stirring. Maybe it's a memory, it's an image, but it's incomplete, it's unformed yet in you. The writing process is what forms it. You start with a lump, a mass of potential utterance, of potential things you could say, of potential ways you could write whatever it is you want to write. You maybe don't even know the form yet. That way, it's just like, in that way, in that sense, it's like a lump of clay. It's just a lump. It's nothing yet. You can make anything at this point, and sometimes that is enough to, oh my God, what am I could do anything. I don't know where to begin. So just begin. You don't even have to have an idea, but perhaps you do. Like I said, you have an experience or a memory or a dream or a yearning or just a hint of something. Start molding it, start forming it. This is your taking your unformed clay, your blank page, and you begin to make a form. This is such an exciting place to be, and your practice will train you to get more comfortable with this beginning space. If it frightens you, if it doesn't feel exciting to you, it's a really exciting place to be, because it's where you get to experiment with language, with sound, with invention, with all possibilities, imagery, with launching your writing into any direction you want. It doesn't have to be anything. So try not to be afraid. allow yourself to make mistakes. This is the stage to make mistakes. Just as you're starting to pull this kind of bowl or cup or whatever it is, this thing out of the clay into being, you can take it anywhere, stretch it, be daring, take it to its limits, let it fall apart. The sculptor Alberto Giacometti, love Giacometti. If you don't know his work, go check him out. He would make these elongated figures of human figures, right? Very elongated, nervous, thin figures, sometimes 6 feet, 8 feet tall. And he would stretch this clay when he was sculpting so far that he talked about how he would break them. They would often break. He would, or sometimes he would sculpt them. He would pull away from the clay so much that there would be a matchstick-sized thing left. And this, when he fired it at the end of the process, would break. So that is, he was searching for something in that clay that he was willing to whittle it down to nothing if he had to find that thing. So no mistakes. You're finding what is in your language by writing. You're finding your flow. You're finding in yourself too. And this is really wonderful experience of creating in yourself as you're working the clay. Let's continue with that analogy. As you're working the clay, you yourself are loosening. You are softening. You are becoming more malleable. You're becoming more present. And the material that you're working, the clay, the words, those are softening. Those are becoming more malleable. And taking form. And that is the interesting thing about working. I would say with clay and with writing, here's another way that I think they go really, the analogy really holds up, parallel, is that as you work clay, it begins to get messier at the beginning. It's messier and it's more wet and it's falling apart and, oh my God, I'm never going to get this to take shape. And perhaps you feel that way in the early stages of your writing, that, these words are just going everywhere. This language is going everywhere. It's just so messy. I can't control this. That's okay. Don't control it. Allow these kind of things to come naturally out of your writing, out of your forming. What happens with clay, the more you work it, is it gets past this messy, wet stage and it starts to adhere to its own internal structure. And writing is doing this as well. You might stumble upon an image, a phrase, a metaphor that starts to gather your writing around it. I have found this to be this happens all the time. We get over this kind of messy stage, the unpredictable moments, and we arrive too at some surprising, authentic language in those moments when the writing feels most out of control and messy. We land at, it comes out of nowhere, just flies into us. Wow, some image, some memory, something that then crystallizes our writing. So then what happens in the process of making, say, a bowl or a vase or a cup? After we sit and we give it this initial form, and we have something, perhaps, it isn't quite fully realized. And so this, I want to remind you, is a normal state of writing too, like in pottery, like in painting, like in anything that we are creating. There is the unfinished state. There is the state where the work is becoming. 99% of your work will be in a state of becoming at any given time. This is how you know that you're working. When you have 99% or whatever percentage, I'm making that up, but you have more unfinished work than work that is finished. That means you're working. You're constantly bringing. And so with pottery, you can make a bowl and let it rest. And you make a cup the next day and you let it rest. And then you come back and you have another idea for the bowl. You return to the cup, to the bowl, to the vase, and you begin forming again what you started, what you were forming yesterday. So with the writing, you return to what you began and you get to revisit it and you get to work it a little bit more, form it a little bit more. This is part of the process of writing. that you must get accustomed to. You have to understand writing is, what's the famous saying? I think it's about art in general, and I don't know who to attribute it to, but that art is, or creating is, one part inspiration and a part perspiration, and it is a much larger part perspiration than inspiration. The inspiration really just gets us launched like 1%. The work, the perspiration, the labor is the rest of it. And this is where we have to learn to find the joy, the beauty in the process. So we have that initial generation of an idea, and that is followed by craft, by crafting, by working, by molding, by shaping, by revisiting, by revisioning. Writing has that process like any other creative art form. Anything you want to create has this process. Writing is a journey, and the product of that journey, whether it's a story or a poem or a novel, is just the testament of the journey that you went on. The product is it's the end. Understand this and accept it, that the journey, the product is just the testament, again, of the journey. If you don't understand this, or you refuse to understand this about writing, you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer creatively. If you just think that you can show up and dash off writing and you're finished, and you don't revision, you don't revisit, that might be a difficult place to create from if you don't understand that writing is a process. I'm just reminding you to revere that process, to revere it. You may need to understand this and to learn it and to acknowledge it first if you don't already. And that's what I hope I'm offering you, this idea that with this analogy that, like in pottery, this form making takes time. The clay needs time to become malleable. It needs time to set, to dry, to trim, to fire. The process is baked in. And with writing, it's no different. The time is baked into the language. Space is baked into the language. Silence is baked into the writing. So we bake in time, bake in space, we bake in silence. Yeah, silence. Silence is what holds together all the words. It's between the words. It's what you live between your writings. It's the process of writing. It doesn't happen in an instant. It's done and you abandon it. The process of writing is a frequent return to a place where you are describing, literally writing down, literally cutting out of the lump of all possible utterance, all possible things you could say. You are finding an order, you're finding a metaphor, you're finding an image, you are describing a way to tell what you feel, the most powerful things that you contain. The things that you contained so powerfully the moment that you started to write. So here's a prompt. Describe your writing process. Describe, how do you work? How does it feel to write? And also, or in addition to that, maybe describe a process other than writing. Perhaps some activity that takes you some time, a practice that you have, getting ready. Maybe it's even getting ready to go out for your day, I don't know, or go out at night. I don't know what it might be for you, but a process, a practice that you have, and the satisfaction you feel when you complete it. And could this serve as a model for you and your writing, for your creative process, this process that you go through in another place in your life where you feel satisfaction? And could this help you sustain your writing practice? So let me know. Let me know how that writing goes. I'd love to read what you write about. Feel free to share it with me. You could send it in the comments, or you could, again, contact me through devotiontowriting.com. That's my website. Also, while you're there, you could check out my online Zoom workshops that I lead. to help you cultivate a daily writing practice, and also my in-person workshops. I would love to meet you in person or on Zoom. I'd love to help you if you need help, if you would like a little community on your journey to your devotion to writing. So, hey, I hope you got something from this video. I'm always here to help you cultivate your writing practice. Again, you can send me a comment. I will respond. And I can tell you from my personal experience that devotion leads to more beauty and more success and more creative abundance than you can imagine. Devote yourself, immerse yourself in the process of writing, and writing is going to reward you infinitely. That is true. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please share this with some friends, anybody you think might benefit from it. And I hope you write deeply today. I know that if you do write, it will be beautiful, because beautiful is what you are. Blessings.